My name is Efunlayo, and welcome to Readings, Rituals, and Reiki's podcast, where we are going to be discussing neurodiversity and other unique human qualities. I firmly believe that everyone has a uniqueness about them that makes us exactly who we are and makes us special. Everyone's brain is wired differently, and so we each have natural variations. And personally, I don't subscribe to the issue or the concept of disabilities or disorders, but more in the vein of natural variations and unique abilities. So my background professionally is in education, and I worked for over 30 years working as a teacher and an administrator with people who at once time, upon a time called mentally retarded, dis disabled, handicapped, and all of those different terms. And over the time that I worked and studied, I came to understand that the thing that makes us human is our uniqueness, and that those people who are labeled with disabilities of any type are just as human as anyone else and have as many capabilities. The challenge for us is to recognize the unique things and the unique qualities that they bring to us in the world. And so, with that being said, and with my years of experience within my professional work as well as in my family life with people have unique and natural variations, I have come to respect and always look for what is the quality that that person brings. What is the opportunity that they give me to learn more about our humanness. And also, as a Reiki practitioner, a Reiki teacher, Reiki is a perfect companion to just about anything, but especially in the sense of the fact that it's an energy healing system. It can help us regulate anything that we're challenged with or anything that we're gifted with. The concept of Reiki is the word Reiki means life force energy. And life force energy has its own intelligence. It is the divine energy. It's the thing that animates us in the world. I'm also an initiate in an African spiritual system as a priestess, and this fits right in with everything that I believe in that vein as well. So, as energetic beings, we live in a world where everything is energy. So we're constantly being impacted by different frequencies. And so when we feel out of sorts or unbalanced, ungrounded, it's because we need to shift our energy to resonate at the level that will help us to feel more grounded, more centered, more embodied within ourselves. And that is true for everyone. And so by understanding the world of energy and connecting with a system such as Reiki, we can help ourselves in so many ways. And the same is true for those who have neurodiversity and other unique human qualities. And those other unique qualities that I'm referring to could be some kind of physical challenge that a person might have, regardless of the extent of it. And so, in that, when you have some uniqueness about you that seems different to other people, or you have made to feel different about yourself because of it, you always learn how to compensate. So this program will focus on helping individuals who have those variations, as well as their parents, caregivers, teachers, and loved ones, to know how to maximize our connections with each other so that we can all come and manifest in the world what we came to give as our gifts and to receive the gifts from other people. And so Reiki, as we know, helps to promote relaxation, stress reduction, anxiety, and promotes overall well-being. And so that's an important thing for all of us to have. Sometimes we look at ourselves and our loved ones that may have be nonverbal, and they have ways of communicating in other ways we always do. And so by looking at those aspects and applying the energy healing techniques that we can learn from Reiki and other energy healing modalities, we can assist that nonverbal individual in how they can enhance their ability to let us know what they require and what they desire. And then we can enhance our ability to connect with them on an energetic level. And so Reiki and some of the techniques that we'll be discussing, as well as some of the activities that we will do on this podcast, will help us with that. Also, we all have fluctuations in our emotions because we know that energy, emotions, that's what we are made up of. Those energetic projections of our thoughts and feelings, Reiki can help us regulate those. Sometimes we have what I call, we have a full spectrum experience of all the different variations of emotions, some that may be disturbing, some that could be destructive even. And so the more that we can learn about how to work with energy to regulate those things is very, very important. I mentioned the word rituals before in the title of this podcast, and so I'm sure you're wondering what that's all about. As I said earlier, ritual is about just shifting energy. So, for instance, when you have not so great a day and you're feeling, out of sorts, some of us, most people, find a way to regulate themselves back. One of the main go-to things is to turn on your favorite music, and instantly that music helps you to regulate your nervous system and get back to feeling more of yourself, feeling more in compare. So it doesn't mean there's any specific type of music. It's whatever your energy field resonates with. Maybe you like classical, maybe you like rock, maybe you want to dance it out, maybe you like jazz. Whatever type of music speaks to your spirit is what your spirit is calling for. So that to you would be your ritual to help you regulate yourself. Some people, it's about food, something they love to eat that helps to calm them or helps them to get back to center. Those things are important. And of course, nature is one of the most powerful ways to get back to center, to regulate, spending time in nature, whether you just sit outside or whether you put your feet on the ground or lay on the ground, or maybe you walk by the water, whatever it might be. All of those things I call rituals because it's about shifting the energy to maximize your potential for success in whatever situation you find yourself in. And so Reiki can enhance all of that because within Reiki, we learn how the chakras work. We learn how the energy field works. We also have specific hand positions that we use to impact our different power centers in the body and our meridians to help regulate the flow of energy. And so it's very, very important to understand how we operate in this world of of matter, of energy, and understand the impact that it has on us individually. A lot of people talk about being the clairs, being clairaudient, clairsentient, and so forth. And those things are greatly enhanced when we are regulating our nervous system, and Reiki can help with that as well. When our chakras are balanced, when our meridians are working, flowing clearly. And so when we have our neurodiverse issues, or we have our other human qualities that may be causing us a challenge to function in the grand scheme of the world, we need to be able to have something to fall back on to assist us, to help us to regulate those things. So, excuse me, with that, children are naturals for learning how to work with energy, and we can introduce them to the concepts on the level of their understanding. But one of the most important things is to understand that we can't predict what their level is. We have to communicate with them through observation, through interaction, to understand what that might be, and never downplay what you think somebody is capable of, because we all have capabilities that we aren't even aware of ourselves, as well as those that may not be initially apparent to other people. And so always take the time to get to know yourself, spend time in meditation and contemplation, and give credit for the things that you uniquely know about yourself that help you to be successful in the world. And success is an individual concept. So what somebody thinks is success for themselves may not be the thing for you. And so how you manifest yourself, your energy in the world is a unique thing as well. And acceptance, self-acceptance is very much a part of you feeling centered and grounded. And so we have to give that same respect to other individuals as well. In one of my experiences that I had early on in my career working with people who had neurodiversity and other unique human qualities, I remember I worked a lot with infants and toddlers and preschool children. And I remember going on a home visit to this family, and I was holding this young child, and she was nonverbal and basically had very limited use of her limbs. And so I'm looking at her eyes and everything, and she started talking to me telepathically. And it was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. And that used to happen a lot. But that first experience that I had with that was so profound. It was amazing and exciting at the same time. And so what I did is I spoke to her, and she understood. I sensed and felt that she understood exactly what I was saying to her. And it taught me a great lesson that even though she had been labeled as mentally retarded and not capable of interacting in the world in the way of a typical developing person, that was not true of her mind or her spirit. And so from there, it opened my eyes to so many different types of ways that we can connect with one another as human beings. And it also greatly impacted the way that I would help families and therapists that I work with to accept and look for the unique qualities of each individual person, and not to take a label and act upon the label. Get to know that person for yourself and look for the broad spectrum of qualities that they have and what they bring. I had another unique experience in that same vein early on, where a young boy, I think when I met David, he was about 9 years old, and he was not able to walk. He was not ambulatory, and he was nonverbal. And so I would go to the home once a week and work with him and his mom, helping her to know how to instruct him in the home, to teach him the things that he needed to know how to do, to help her to figure out ways to communicate with him. And then I would pass those things I learned on to his speech therapist, and she would pass on things to me. And one day, he was scooting down the stairs, and he looked dead in my face, and he said, Juju. My name is, I use my African name, Efunlayo, but my given name is Judy. And he said those verbs. I had been seeing David for about 2 years, and those were the first words he said. And it was amazing. And his mother was just like, oh my gosh, he said his first words. But it wasn't so much the fact that he said my name as his first words that we heard, but what it was that he knew that we had a deep connection, a very deep connection. And so when he saw me, it was like he was welcoming me, because we had so much fun in our sessions together every week, that it taught me that you never can underestimate. Never, never, never. And so I didn't have Reiki back in those days, but I had Reiki back in those days, because we all have Reiki. It's the life force energy. It's what animates us. It's just I wasn't consciously aware that that's what I had and what I was using until later, when I was formally introduced to Reiki and was able to use it in a different way according to the Usui system that I was taught. And so empowering ourselves and empowering our children and people of all ages and embracing one another is a part of what Reiki has taught me, and it's a way of embracing ourselves as human beings. We also have the issue of Reiki being taught as a hands-on healing modality, but also an amazing part of Reiki is distance healing. And that doesn't just mean distance healing in terms of someone being in another city or state away from you. It's about that you can hover your hands over the individual to send and amplify the Reiki healing energy that you're giving them, because so many people have sensitive nervous systems where certain types of touch don't feel comfortable to them. And so whether it's deep pressure that's best for them, or whether no touch but just hovering, the energy still passes and the energy still has an impact. So there's so much that we can explore and learn together. And I'll be teaching parents how to figure out those things, how to experiment to find out what it is that your loved one might need. And we'll be moving forward with some some workshops and things on different aspects of how we as adults can help people in our lives, and how we can help ourselves. Because as a teacher, I learned how to work with children to discover their learning styles. Some of us are visual learners, some of us are tactile learners, and so forth, auditory learners, and some of us have to have all of those modalities to learn the best. And so when you know that about yourself, then you have a better way of accessing what you need from the world and from other people. And so we'll be doing some deep talks about that as well, to discover, even if a person is nonverbal, what's the best way to enhance their ability to communicate and facilitate that. I also had another experience that I want to share, is that I was teaching a Reiki class, and I didn't realize that my brother, who is blind, was listening from another space. And so after class, he was saying, "Yeah, your class was really excellent. And you were talking about Chokurei and this and that and the other." And I'm like, "You were listening in class?" He said, "Yeah, I just happened to hear you talking about that and it was fascinating. So I decided to listen." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so he was asking me all these additional questions about the Chokurei symbol that we use in Reiki, because in case you don't know, in Reiki level 2, there are 3 symbols that you're taught to help you enhance your ability to connect with different dimensions of frequency. And so I told him, I said, "Well, would you like to know what Chokurei looks like?" And he said, "Well, how are you going to do that?" I said, "I got you." So what I did is I had him to visualize with his mind's eye just a spot. And I said, "Now I'm going to show you how to draw the chokeray. And I'm going to you to," and I told him, I said, "Take your finger and use it in connection with your mind's eye." So I proceeded to verbally instruct him how to draw the chokeray symbol. And it was amazing, because he said he felt the energy of it. And it just fit the description that he heard me giving in the class when I was talking about that aspect. So Reiki can be done by anyone and in any situation and for anything. That's why I love it so much. I am Reiki and Reiki is me. And I've been practicing Reiki for many years, and it never ceases to amaze me how it opens my eyes and all of my senses to a deeper connection of how we as human beings are electromagnetic, and so is the whole universe, and how we can go deeper and deeper in our connections. So I hope this is interesting to you, and I hope you will join me each month on Awakening Airways for the Readings, Rituals, and Reiki podcast, Neurodiversity and Other Human Qualities. Thank you for listening.